Introduction to anger management involves understanding what anger is and how it affects individuals and their interactions with others. At its core, anger is a natural, often intense emotional response to perceived threats, stressors, or injustice. It can manifest as a slight irritation or intense rage, and can be both a motivating force and a source of personal and interpersonal conflict. Recognizing and managing this powerful emotion is critical, as unmanaged anger can lead to a host of personal and social issues, including mental health problems, strained relationships, and even legal consequences. The significance of anger management lies in its potential to transform negatively impactful behavior into constructive action. Anger management teaches strategies to recognize early signs of anger, control emotional responses, and express anger in a healthy, non-destructive way. By understanding the triggers and physiological responses associated with anger, individuals can learn to channel this emotion positively, minimizing detrimental effects on themselves and those around them. For example, a workplace scenario where an employee constantly faces missed deadlines due to team members' inefficiency can lead to mounting frustration and anger. Through anger management techniques like cognitive restructuring, the employee can change their mindset, approaching the issue calmly and constructively, perhaps by organizing a team meeting to address the inefficiencies collaboratively. In another instance, consider a parent dealing with a child's disruptive behavior. Equipped with anger management skills, the parent can maintain composure, opting for calm, clear communication strategies instead of reacting impulsively with anger. Experts in psychology and behavioral management advocate for anger management as a fundamental skill for maintaining emotional health. It is often recommended as part of therapy for those struggling with temper control issues, with numerous success stories highlighting significant personal improvements. However, challenges include the perception that anger management is more about suppressing or ignoring anger rather than transforming it, which could lead to emotional bottling or denial. Some critics argue that anger management may oversimplify complex emotional issues by not addressing underlying problems, such as stress, anxiety, or trauma. Additionally, cultural norms around expression of emotion can vary, and what is considered appropriate in one culture may not be in another. Anger management is interconnected with other aspects of managing emotions, like developing empathy, fostering communication skills, and practicing mindfulness. Together, these components can help individuals develop a well-rounded toolkit to handle a range of emotions effectively, promoting overall emotional intelligence and resilience. Understanding the nature of anger is a crucial first step in learning how to manage and control it effectively. Anger is a natural emotion characterized by feelings of antagonism or displeasure, often in response to perceived threats or injustices. It is a physiological and emotional response that can range from mild irritation to intense fury. Recognizing it as a natural human emotion is vital, as it underscores that experiencing anger is neither inherently good nor bad. Rather, it is how one reacts to and manages this emotion that matters. This understanding is fundamental to the overarching goal of managing and controlling anger. By comprehending the origins and triggers of anger, individuals can learn to respond to situations more rationally, rather than react impulsively. This awareness can also aid in identifying underlying issues, such as stress or fear, which may manifest as anger, paving the way for more constructive coping mechanisms. A real-world example of this concept in action can be seen in the workplace. Imagine a scenario where an employee receives what they perceive as unfair criticism. By understanding the nature of their anger, they can examine whether the anger is truly directed at the critique or if it stems from other stressors, such as fear of job insecurity. This insight allows for a more appropriate response, such as addressing concerns with a supervisor rather than lashing out. Another example is in interpersonal relationships. Consider a couple frequently arguing over minor issues. By understanding that accumulated stress or unmet needs might be the true sources of their anger, they are better equipped to engage in open dialogue and find solutions that address the root causes, strengthening their relationship in the process. Support for this notion comes from psychological research, which emphasizes self-awareness as a key component of emotional intelligence. This awareness can reduce the frequency and intensity of anger episodes, paving the way for healthier relationships and improved mental health. However, challenges exist in this domain. Some may argue that delving too deeply into the nature of anger could lead to overanalyzing emotions, potentially stifling natural emotional expression. Additionally, cultural or individual differences in expressing anger might lead to alternative viewpoints on its management. Understanding the nature of anger also influences other key aspects of anger management, such as identifying triggers and developing calming strategies. It sets the groundwork for constructing personalized coping mechanisms, empowering individuals to lead more peaceful and controlled lives. Recognizing triggers and warning signs is a crucial step in managing and controlling anger. This concept refers to the ability to identify specific situations, people, events, or environments that instigate an emotional response, particularly anger. Recognizing these cues can prevent escalation by allowing for early intervention. Triggers can be external, such as a traffic jam, or internal, like a memory or an expectation. Warning signs, on the other hand, are the physiological or emotional responses that precede the full onset of anger, such as increased heart rate, clenching fists, or feeling flushed. Understanding these triggers and signs is significant because it empowers individuals to preemptively manage their emotional responses. By being aware of what incites anger, individuals can develop strategies to mitigate these situations or avoid them altogether, leading to healthier emotional regulation. This awareness can also contribute to personal growth and improved relationships, as unchecked anger often results in actions or words that can harm social connections. To illustrate, consider someone who recognizes that their anger is triggered by feeling undervalued at work. By identifying this, they can address the issue constructively with a supervisor, seek ways to validate themselves, or practice calming techniques before a confrontation arises. Another example is a parent who notices their frustration escalate during their child's bedtime routine. By recognizing this pattern, the parent can introduce changes to the routine that promote calmness for both, such as incorporating a quiet story time or meditation. Psychologists and anger management experts often emphasize the importance of this step, advocating for self-reflection and regular practice of mindfulness as methods of recognizing and addressing triggers and warning signs. Critics might argue that focusing on self-awareness can sometimes lead to self-absorption or avoidance of addressing deeper underlying issues contributing to anger. Others might suggest that some triggers are unavoidable, and recognizing them does not equate to effectively managing the response. However, recognizing triggers and warning signs forms a foundation for broader anger management strategies. It dovetails into other techniques, such as developing coping strategies, improving communication skills, and fostering emotional resilience. By mastering this awareness, individuals can create a supportive framework for long-term emotional health. This point easily influences these other aspects by providing the necessary knowledge to apply practical techniques aptly, ensuring a comprehensive approach to anger management. Techniques for immediate anger control refer to strategies and methods employed to swiftly manage and subdue the intense emotional response of anger as it arises. These techniques are vital because anger, when uncontrolled, can lead to harmful outcomes such as damaged relationships, poor decision-making, and even adverse health effects. The ability to control anger quickly also fosters emotional well-being and facilitates healthier communication. One significant technique is deep breathing, which involves taking slow, deliberate breaths to reduce physiological arousal associated with anger. This method works because it activates the body's relaxation response, reducing tension and helping individuals regain their composure. For instance, imagine a scenario where a person is frustrated due to unexpected traffic delays. By practicing deep breathing, they can prevent escalating their frustration into rage, helping them arrive at their destination in a calmer state of mind. Another effective approach is the use of the time-out method, where an individual temporarily removes themselves from an anger-inducing situation. This break allows for a cooling-down period and prevents immediate outbursts. Consider a heated argument during a team meeting at work. Stepping out for a moment to gather thoughts can prevent the situation from escalating and preserve professional relationships. Support for these techniques often comes from psychological research, which underlines their efficacy in reducing anger and preventing stress. Mental health professionals widely advocate these simple yet effective methods as part of anger management programs. However, some critics argue that, while these methods may provide temporary relief, they do not address underlying issues that trigger anger. Alternatively, some people might find it challenging to apply these techniques amidst intense emotional turmoil, emphasizing the need for practice and consistency. These immediate anger control techniques are interconnected with the broader topic of anger management, as they lay the groundwork for developing long-term emotional regulation skills. They act as the first line of defense against emotional outbursts, enabling individuals to maintain personal and professional harmony. By effectively managing immediate anger, individuals pave the way for implementing more comprehensive strategies, such as cognitive restructuring, to address deep-seated emotional triggers. Ultimately, mastering these techniques can lead to a more balanced emotional state, contributing to healthier interpersonal interactions and overall life satisfaction.